so much for watching. Today we're going to go over how to track your macronutrients. Macronutrients are your carbohydrates, your protein, and your fats, and specifically how to track your macros while on a ketogenic diet. So, if you're wondering how to do it, I use the MyFitnessPal app. I'm going to show you on the computer version how to track those macros and how to get those results that you're wanting to get while following a keto diet. So let's take a look. Like I said, we're just going to go ahead and use the MyFitnessPal. You can use the app or the website edition. It's great for iOS or Android if you're going to use the app. So I have found that this is really the simplest way to track my macros, and because this will already go ahead and figure out how many calories you're supposed to have, and then you can just plug in what your goals for hitting those macros, the protein, carb, and fats are for each day as it is. So I'm just going to walk you through it. So this would be if you're going to set it up for the first time. If you're setting up a brand new account, at the beginning it'll pop up with all the questions that we're going to go over. But if you already have an account and you're trying to see what you need to do to override what's already in your system set up for you, so you're just going to go over to settings here and then down to update diet and fitness profile. So by doing that, you'll be able to see, you want to change your weight, on what day, your current weight. So just fill all of this out the best that you can. Be realistic. I mean, if you're hoping to work out 3 times a week, but you really just don't think you're going to hit that, be realistic and put 2. Just because it's going to plug all of that in, and you don't want to get ahead or behind yourself because of something that you've put in here. So I want to lose 2 pounds a week. I just plugged in some random information. So we'll say update profile. And so it'll say, okay, great. So you're going to have 1,200 calories a day. And now we're going to need to change these nutritional goals, because when you're on a ketogenic diet, you want your carbs, fats, and proteins to hit specific percentages each day. And so by doing those percentages of your calories will give you what these grams are. And so we can go ahead and change that. Okay, so we've gone ahead and we've just hit goals up here, and it's brought us to this page right here. So anything that doesn't have a little lockbox next to it, that means that you can change it. So all of this you can change. You can change all of your micronutrients if you want to, your calories burned, etc. But for this purpose and for counting your daily nutrition goals, which are your macros, for the ketogenic diet, we're going to go in and change these. So this is what, so MyFitnessPal uses a little algorithm to decide how many calories you're going to have. If you get going on this diet and you feel like you're not eating enough, whatever it may be, you can go ahead and go in and change this. But if you have any questions, please reach out to me, and I can kind of help troubleshoot what issues or plateaus or whatever problems you might be having during your journey. So, like I said, macronutrients, you're going to be hitting a certain percentage each day. And so for carbohydrates, you're going to want to hit in the neighborhood of 5 to 10% of your calories are going to be from carbs. So if you're just starting out, I would maybe start at the 10%. You may even need to start a little bit higher, just depending, but I would go ahead and start at that 10%. So here it's going to tell you that's 30 grams of carbs. Now, the biggest takeaway thing for the ketogenic diet is that it's going to be a high fat and it's low carb. So low carb, you're going to actually want to hit 20 net grams of carbohydrates. And that's actually going to be your carbohydrates minus the dietary fiber. So you may actually be consuming, at least 30 grams of carbs, but your actual carbs will be less than 20 just as you take out that dietary fiber. And I'll show you exactly where that's at. So fat, you're going to want to do at least 70%. It could be 75%, and you may need to change this as things go on. And then also protein would be right around 20%. And so that's for the body type, age, height, weight, my goals. That's everything that I've put in the beginning that has spit out that 1200, and now 10% of that 1200 is 30 grams. So we will go ahead and save those changes there. So if you go back to my home, then you can see it's still got that in there. But once you start to log things for your day, your totals will be showing up here. And I'll show you a little way that you can go ahead and get it so that your dietary fiber is showing up right there. So if you just go right on over here to settings, and you can change your nutrients tracked. So I do want to know sugar. I don't necessarily care about sodium because, as you know, one thing with a ketogenic diet, you just want to salt the heck out of everything because you're going to be losing that electrolyte pretty regularly through your day. So I'm just going to go ahead and change that one to fiber. You can change some other things in here too. Meal names, if you want to change those to different names, whatever they may be. You can share this with people. But we're just going to go ahead and save changes just for that sake. So let's go back home. Actually, I'm sorry, let's go back over to food. So now you can see here that your fibers are here. So technically, it's saying that your goal is going to be 25 grams of fiber, which ideally that would be great, but that's probably going to be if you're consuming grains. For ketogenic sake and this low amount of carbs, it's going to be a little more difficult to get that many grams of fiber, but you can certainly shoot for it. So you're going to try and get at least 10 grams of fiber. And I'll just tell you what, I personally, if my carbs are much lower than 20 and I'm still hungry, I'm going to add in those carbs, because I am higher in my fiber, just as long as your net carbs are 20 grams or less. So again, your carbs minus your fiber is your net carbs for the day, and you want to hit 20 or less. All right, so there you have it. Now you know how to properly track your macros using the MyFitnessPal website. It's just about the same when you use it on your app through iOS or through Android. So if you have any questions about the ketogenic diet, about tracking your macros, about logging anything, leave some comments below or just reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, or you can go ahead and contact me through my email. I'll also answer your comments and questions below. So thank you so much for joining me. You can get those goals by doing that, just like I have been getting my goals hit by following my macronutrients, using the app, and you're going to do great. Bye.